Hello everybody, it's your friendly neighborhood Jumblefluff here with another video. Welcome back to my channel if you're a recurring visitor. Today I am drawing a new character. This character is the second entry in my Dumpster Pals series. I'm still not 100% sure how many Dumpster Pals there are going to be, but so far we have Banjo, the green raccoon, and now we have Fiddle, the pink opossum. Or I'll probably call it a possum from now on, just because that's how I generally talk about possums. I don't usually call them opossums. Although I kind of think it's cute, like, oh, possum, I don't know. Here in the beginning of the video, you can see me sketching out a layout for how I'm gonna put all these little doodles of Fiddle together. I went with 6 different little poses that kind of showcase her personality as a possum and also within my group dynamic of the Dumpster Pals. So let's see, Fiddle is dramatic. She is cute and charming. She maybe has a little bit of anxiety. So yeah, I think that she's a really fun character and I really like how she turned out. I kept all of the sketches kind of rough, and then I added the color on the layer beneath the line work. And then for the color layer, I just blocked in the colors using the lasso tool just to kind of get an idea of where the colors are going to be. And then I will merge those layers of the line work and the colors, and I'll just draw on top of all of it to make everything look a little more smoother and cohesive and less rough. So let's get started talking about the different poses. This pose that I'm working on right now, I will get back to it. I kind of jump around a little bit while I am working on the sketches, illustration, doodles, whatever you want to call them today. So right now I'm just kind of cleaning up where my colors are not in the lines. What? I'm not very good at coloring with inlines. Here when I was doing the character's eyes, I accidentally did it on the same color that I put the little swatches. So later I have to go and fix that. I hate coloring on the wrong layer. I do it so much. You think, maybe you learn eventually, but nah, I think I'll just keep doing it the wrong way. That's okay. I'm sure someday I will make sure I'm on the right layer before I start coloring. Maybe not. Who knows? Anywho, so this is kind of the first pose that I really started working on. The first one I was cleaning up a little bit, but this one is the one where I went in and started rendering really. So this first pose is based on an image that I found on the internet where a possum had its little feet, paws? Hands? I don't know. Its little hands put together like it was begging, like, please give me some food. So I really liked that and I thought it was really cute. So I wanted to use that as a jumping off point here for Fiddle. So I put these little interlocking fingers, raised up her shoulders, and I think that she's got a really cute expression on her face. Possums, I don't think have eyebrows, so I just kind of added them just because it's a lot easier to show expression with eyebrows than without. So that's what I added them on all of these poses because it just is really an important part of drawing a character so they can have like a emotion on their face. So that's what I did. I really enjoyed adding the blushies onto Fiddle's face. And I also drew like little curly cues on top of the blushes, which I think turned out so cute. And I like how they don't necessarily stay on her face, they just kind of go out into space sometimes. But I think that's really fun and cartoony, so I like that a lot. I also gave her these eye sparkles that are the shape of stars, so that's fun too. So then I just kind of went through the process of smoothing everything out, adding some details like some cute little hair strokes and little blushy lines and coloring in her lips, which possums have pretty pale lips, but I just added a little color so you could see a little bit more detail of how her face is looking. I also gave her some eyelashes, which I think turned out really cute. And I liked her ears having the little white squigglies on the end, because a lot of times possums have kind of white spots on the end of their ears. So I thought that overall, this first pose turned out really cute, and it was one of my favorites right away. So once I was finished with her face, I went ahead and started working on her body. You can see I refined some of the shapes from the original sketches I went, so I gave her arms more definition and kind of improved the angle of the arms. I liked having her shoulders up really high, like she's begging, and it's very friendly looking, so I think that overall this pose turned out really nice. I liked on the ears to give the little wobbly line a little bit of opacity, so it's not like a super solid line. So it kind of looks like the color of her ears blends into the tips of her ears. But I think after this, I was pretty much finished with this first pose. So yeah, and this also includes me trying to figure out what I did with the eyes, but so I did get that figured out eventually and got them separated, the layer with the swatches and the eye color. So then I moved on to my second pose, which is Fiddle falling from a tree branch. So when I was looking at possums and learning about them, it turns out that they can't really hang by their tail. Like, you see lots of artwork of possums hanging from their tail, and you can see photographs of them as well. And technically, it's possible for them to hang by their tail, but they don't do it for very long at a time because their body weight is too heavy for their tail to support. So I thought it would be kind of funny if someone told Fiddle, like, hey, you know possums can't really do that. And she's like, what? And so then she lets go and falls. It reminds me of like a Looney Tunes cartoon, like where the character runs off the edge of a cliff and doesn't even know that they should have been falling down until they look down and they're like, whoa, the ground's way down there. And so then they fall. So that's kind of what I was thinking here with Fiddle. Like, by her own logic, she should be able to hang by a tree, so that's what she's doing. But then someone tells her she can't, so she starts falling. I really like this little doodle. I think it's really funny. I love her expression, how it turns out, with her big, crazy-looking eye and her eyebrows way up high. I like how her hands look a little bit like they're flailing, like, I need to grab onto that branch. So, I don't know. I think it turned out really cute. I love the green color of the leaves with this reddish-brown color of the branch. These are colors that I took from the other illustration as well. So I think that it turned out really cute. I love her little pose and her eyes and all her teeth showing, and her tongue is like wild. So I think this one is a really fun one. I took a lot of time kind of cleaning it all up and trying to make it look more polished. You can see where I have drawn her second eye, the one on the left. I go through and try to figure out exactly how much of that would be showing from this angle. And I just really took some time to make sure everything looks good and get some shading on there. And I wanted to make sure that Fiddle's belly is white, so I go through and add like a kind of gradient white effect so that her stomach is white, because I think possums have white bellies. Let's see. So let me think about some stuff I know about possums. Well, they're kind of considered like trash animals, like raccoons, you know, like people call raccoons trash pandas, and some people like to refer to possums like angry cats or feral cats or something, because they just kind of like are very dramatic looking critters. They have very pointy teeth. They have lots of teeth. They're kind of ferocious looking actually, because they have like 50 teeth, and they're very pointy and scary looking. So I think that they're really cute. Actually, I know a lot of people don't think they're cute. Some people think they look like overgrown rats, which maybe is true, but I think rats are cute too. So, but let's see. They are good animals to have around, even if you don't like them. They're good to have in your neighborhood because they kill lots of insects that are kind of harmful. So things like ticks and mosquitoes and stuff like that. So they are omnivores. So they also work as scavengers and will eat roadkill or decaying animals that could be causing disease or issues like that in your area as well. They're relatively disease-free. Like, it's possible for them to have rabies, but it's very uncommon. Lots of people think this is because they have a really low body temperature, so they can't necessarily cultivate diseases as well as some other animals. So that's a cool thing about them. Possums are really good at climbing trees. If I were drawing more accurately, their back feet actually have like a fifth toe, which is like almost like a thumb, so it's opposable. So that helps them climb really good. Possums are well known for playing dead. So I did incorporate one of my poses where Fiddle is playing dead. So we'll see that in a little bit. They have prehensile tails. That's why people think that they can hang from trees, which, like I said, it turns out that they can't do it for very long. If you do see a possum hanging from a tree, it's probably a juvenile possum, or else it could be just doing it for a second before it falls. So, I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting. Usually they use their tails for carrying stuff like sticks or nesting materials where they're going to go take care of their young, build a house. Possums have really tiny babies when they're born. They're like the size of a bumblebee, which I thought was really cool. And then they go from, being born into their mother's pouch, and that's where they go from being kind of like defenseless little guys into having more of a ability to survive out on their own. So sometimes you'll see pictures of possums where a mama possum has like 6 babies hanging onto their sides. So I think that's really cute too. I thought about doing a picture of Fiddle like when she was a baby, like maybe all of her brothers and sisters are regular possum colors, but she's bright pink. I thought that would be kind of fun. So I might do that sometime. I'm not sure. Maybe something about, how it's good to stand out from a crowd. So I moved on to the next pose after that, and that is this one where she is playing dead. You can see she's got one eye is X'd over, which is, obviously cartoon language for I'm dead, don't bother me. But her other eye is kind of like a little bit open, like she's trying to peek to see like, hey, are they buying this or not? Because, you want to be sure that people really think you're dead if you're playing dead. So I thought that this was a kind of funny pose. In one of my sketches, I had a little like wooden sign that said, I'm dead. But I didn't do that for this final one because I thought it was a little too much. But I do think it was funny. But anywho, this was a fun pose to do with her limbs stretched out and her tongue out and her little sly expression as she's trying to peek and see if people are going with her or if they are, a little suspicious because she is actually, in fact, not dead. So I just went ahead and rendered this one pretty much the same as I've been doing. You can see I do a lot of color picking from the other pictures just to make sure that everything is looking cohesive and like this is the same character throughout, because that's something I really struggle with, drawing the same person over and over, or same possum in this case. So I like to just double check and make sure my colors are looking really good together. So after I wrapped up the playing dead pose, I moved on to this one, which is one of my favorite poses of the sheet. This is Fiddle's dramatic drama queen look. That's why she has a crown atop her head. It's her queen crown. So I really like drawing this kind of screaming possum pose. I think it's one of the most iconic faces that a possum makes. I wanted to make sure that I really emphasized her teeth here and her big open mouth, so I draw in extra teeth, and you know, her tongue is really crazy, and you can see all the way to the back of her throat where you can see that thing that dangles. I feel like it's called a uvula, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So I just really wanted this one to be over the top, silly, and dramatic, and like, yeah. Fiddle needs attention, guys, so pay attention to her. So I picked this kind of light green color for the crown, and I like doing some fun shading on it, and I added a little gemstone later to really sell the fact that it's a crown, because I was a little bit worried that it's not clear what's going on. But yeah, I think that this pose turned out really cute, and I loved adding all the little details like the hair strokes and blushies and these little wrinkles, like where she looks really angry. And yeah, I just think that this one turned out really fun. For some reason, after this one, I jumped back to the playing dead pose and just kind of touched up some stuff like this XI, and I think I went ahead and fixed up the tail some. And then I moved on to the next pose, which is the one where Fiddle is hanging in the center of the screen. She's hanging by her tail, and she's just kind of waving like, hey guys, it's me, Fiddle. So this one is really cute and friendly looking. It's definitely the centerpiece of the page, and I think that it turned out really nice. I went through pretty much the same process of rendering everything out, with getting rid of a lot of the line work, lightening up the colors of the strokes of hair, and refining the colors of the legs and the arms. I think that possums in general tend to have darker arms than their body, and then they tend to have white faces. So that's kind of what I was working with as a color inspiration. Although obviously normally possums are not pink. My possum is pink. But I kind of wanted the same color relation between the different tones. So we started with a light pink with the darker pink arms and a white face. So I think that it all came together pretty nice. And I made sure on this one to add the paler belly as well, because like I said before, I think that possums usually have like a wider belly. So I kind of think of this pose as being like the before pose for her falling out of the tree. So this is the pose that she does whenever she's like, yeah, I'm a possum, I can hang by my tail. But then someone tells her, no you can't, and she falls. So I kind of jumped back and forth a little bit here and went to work on this other drawing of Fiddle where she's carrying a fiddle with her tail. So this is kind of where I was trying to show off like how she can carry stuff with her tail, because it's really strong and flexible. So I don't think I've ever drawn a fiddle before. I don't think I'd ever drawn a banjo before I drew banjo the other day, but now I've drawn a fiddle too. So I'm basically drawing all the instruments, okay? So one day I will be an excellent instrument drawer. Maybe not. Drawing instruments is interesting because there's so many little details to them. So like the fiddle has, I think it has 4 strings, and then it has like a chin rest, shoulder rest type thing. I don't know. It's very interesting. So definitely starting to wrap up all of the drawings now, going back and forth with little finishing details on everybody, you know, adding things like eye shines and little blushy lines, and kind of smoothing things out where they still look a little rough. Finishing up the tails, I think that was something that I kind of procrastinated on. But yeah, I think that everybody turned out real cute. And I went through and added some little embellishments and added her name. And yeah, then just kind of finished it all up. So let me know what you think in the comments if you are a fan of Fiddle's looks or Fiddle's personality, if you relate, because personally I am a drama queen with abundant anxiety, so I feel like Fiddle is kind of my spirit animal. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments, and make sure if you watched the video and you enjoyed it that you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Thank you. Bye bye.